You don't struggle to ask what you need. You struggle with what you think it means about you, if you do. Because the moment you even think about saying, I need more from you, that didn't feel good. Can we do this differently? Something in your body tightens, and suddenly it feels easier to say nothing. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think, I just need to communicate better. I just need to be more confident. I just need to say it clearly. But this isn't a communication problem. This is an emotional safety problem, because asking for what you need requires you to feel safe being seen. And this is where May is working on you. Energy Body 1 is asking, who are you becoming in your relationships? Someone who speaks up, someone who honors themselves. The Energy Body 5 is showing the truth. What are you actually doing in the moment? Because when it matters, you might still be staying quiet, downplaying what you feel, telling yourself it's not a big deal. You don't avoid asking because you don't have needs. You avoid asking because part of you believes having needs makes you too much, difficult, needy, hard to love. So instead of expressing your needs, you hint, adjust, give more, hope they notice. And when they don't, you feel unseen, unimportant, frustrated. But the truth is, your needs are not the problem. Your silence is. So in this video, we're going to break this down properly. Why asking feels so uncomfortable. What's actually happening in your body, and how to express your needs without feeling like you're too much. Before we go deeper, if this is already hitting something in you, if you felt this in your own relationships, hit subscribe and tap the notification bell, because this is where you stop shrinking yourself and start showing up fully. And if you want to understand your patterns on a deeper level, download my free numerology guide, because your emotional patterns aren't random. They're coded. And once you see them, you can finally change them. The link's in the description box below. So let's talk about why this feels so hard. Because it's not random. And it's definitely not because there's something wrong with you asking for what you need. Because asking for what you need feels uncomfortable because your body links it to risk. Not just logically, emotionally, energetically. When you go to express a need, your nervous system doesn't think, this is healthy communication. It thinks, what if they pull away? What if they think I'm too much? What if I get rejected? What if I lose the connection? And in that moment, silence feels safer than expression, because at some point, you likely learned that expressing your needs didn't always go well. Maybe you were ignored, dismissed, made to feel dramatic, or told that you were asking for too much. So your system adapted. It learned. It's safer not to ask. It's easier to adjust myself. It's better to need less. And that strategy worked. But now that same pattern is showing up in your relationships. Not because you want it to, because your body still believes asking equals risk. Silence equals safety. And this is where Energy Body 5 shows the truth again. Because it isn't about what you know. It's about what you do in the moment. And in those moments, you might minimize your needs. Tell yourself it's not important. Convince yourself you're fine. And here's the truth most people avoid. When you don't express your needs, you don't remove them, you suppress them. Unspoken needs don't disappear. They turn into resentment. So let me ask you this. How many times have you said it's fine when it actually wasn't? Because that's not peace, that's suppression. And this is where your power is. Because if this is learned, it can be unlearned. Not by forcing yourself to speak, but by creating safety in your body first. So now that you understand why this feels so hard, next we look at what you're doing instead of asking. Because this is where the pattern really shows up. Because now it's not just I struggle to ask, it's, oh, this is exactly what I do instead. So if you're not asking for what you need, what are you doing instead? Because you're not doing nothing. You're just expressing it indirectly. When you don't feel safe asking, your needs don't disappear. They just come out sideways. Instead of saying what you actually need, you hint. You say things like, it would be nice if, I guess we could, it's fine, whatever you want. Hoping they'll pick up on it. Hoping they'll just know. You're expecting someone to meet a need you haven't clearly expressed. And when they don't, you feel disappointed, unseen, and frustrated. Instead of asking for what you need, you give more. You think, if I show up more, they'll meet me there. If I give enough, it'll come back. So you overfunction, overextend, and overdeliver. But giving more doesn't teach someone how to meet your needs. It teaches them that you will meet theirs, that you will meet theirs. And sometimes you just say nothing. You tell yourself, It's not a big deal. I don't want to cause an issue. I'll just deal with it. But inside, you feel it. And this is where it builds. Because over time, silence becomes resentment. Giving becomes exhaustion. Hinting becomes frustration. And you end up thinking, why don't they just see me? And this is where Energy Body 5 makes it undeniable. Because this isn't about what you want. It's about what you do. And what you're doing isn't avoiding direct expression. You're not being low maintenance. You're being unseen. So let me ask you this. Which one do you do most? Hint, give more, or stay silent? Because that's where your pattern lives. And here's the shift. You don't need to become better at hinting. You need to become comfortable being clear. So now that you can see the pattern, next we change how you relate to your needs without feeling too much. So here's where everything changes, because the goal isn't to stop having needs. It's to stop making them mean something about your worth. Right now, you don't just have needs. You judge them. You make them mean I'm too much. I'm difficult. I'm asking for too much. So instead of expressing them, you suppress them. But having needs doesn't make you needy. It makes you human. You're not afraid of your needs. You're afraid of how people will respond to them. So this is where Energy Body 1 comes online. This is identity. Not, I hope they don't think I'm too much, but my needs are valid, regardless of how they respond. And this is where Energy Body 5 grounds it. Because this isn't about believing it once. It's about acting from it. It looks like saying what you need clearly, not over-explaining, not apologizing for having needs, allowing their response without collapsing. Because you can't have your needs met if you don't express them. And you can't expect someone to respect something you're hiding. So the shift becomes this. I don't hint, I express. I don't minimize, I honor. I don't apologize, I state. Your needs don't push people away. Your silence does. And this doesn't mean everyone will meet your needs, but it will show you who can, who won't, and who isn't aligned. And that clarity is power. So now that you understand the shift, now we bring this into real life. How to actually do this in the moment. Because this only changes when you do it. Step 1, the pause. Before you speak, pause. Feel your body. Notice the urge to soften, minimize, or avoid. Step 2 is name the need. Keep it simple. No long explanations. No justifications. Here's an example. I need more consistency from you. That didn't feel good for me. I'd like us to communicate more clearly. That's it. Step 3 is hold the space. This is the hardest part. Let them respond without backtracking, without over-explaining, without trying to fix it. Step 4 is stay with yourself. Notice what comes up. Discomfort, fear, vulnerability. And instead of collapsing, stay. Energy Body 1 says, I am someone who honors my needs. Energy Body 5 says, show me in what you do. Clarity might feel uncomfortable, but it's what creates connection. So this is your work, not to have fewer needs, but to honor them. So let's bring this back to you. You're not needy. You've just been taught that your needs are a problem, and they're not. Because the truth is, you already know what you need. You've just been afraid to say it. The question is, are you ready to stop hiding? Now, if this has landed for you, if you felt that shift, hit the subscribe and tap the notification bell. Because this is where you stop shrinking yourself and start showing up fully. And if you want to understand your emotional patterns on a deeper level, download my free numerology guide, because your patterns aren't random, they're coded. And once you see them, you can finally change them. The link is in the description box below. This is your moment, not to be less, but to be honest. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.